Hi, kia ora, good morning everyone, Rich Wong here. Today we have the Tamron 70-180 f2.8 lens for the Sony full frame mirrorless cameras. So this is not the full review, I'm still working on the full review, but I thought I can just do a quick video, just share with you guys what I have found so far about this Tamron lens. Now before we start, I have to say thank you to my friends at gearup.co.nz because I picked up this Tamron lens from them. If you are also living in New Zealand, go check out their website, I put a link below. This is another very interesting lens from Tamron for two reasons. The first reason is the size of this lens is very compact. I do not have the Sony G Master 70-200 f2.8 here to do a comparison, but this is much smaller than the Sony G Master lens, and if you compare it to most other 70-200 lens in the market, you can also notice that this is significantly smaller than pretty much all the f2.8 lens, and even when I compare it with the Lumix 70-200 f4 lens, this Tamron 70-180 f2.8 lens is still quite a bit smaller. Also, the weight of this lens is also quite light. It's pretty much like around half the weight of a lot of 70-200 f2.8 lens in the market. So combining the small size and the lightweight together, this make it a lot more friendly to a lot of people who don't want to carry a big camera bag. And the second thing is the price of this lens is also very affordable. Here in New Zealand, the price of this Tamron 70-100 2.8 lens is pretty much around half the price of the Sony G Master 70-200 f2.8. So this is definitely very affordable. Consider this is a f2.8 telephoto lens. In terms of the build quality, it is very similar to, for example, the Tamron 28-75 f2.8 lens. It definitely feels a little bit plasticky, but still feel quite solid. Consider the price is a lot cheaper than the other lens. I think the slightly plasticky feeling is quite acceptable. Autofocus seems to be very quiet, very smooth, and also the speed seems to be pretty good, but I do have to do a little bit more testing, so I will share with you my more detailed result in my full review. If you are a Nikon shooter, I have also tried this Tamron lens on a Nikon Z6 using the techart adapter. When I'm taking photo with the single point autofocus, the overall performance is very good. Very fast, very smooth, and reasonably reliable. And even when I'm shooting video in continuous autofocus mode, the result is still pretty usable. One of the biggest difference between this telephoto lens compared to the other 70-200 f2.8 telephoto lens is, of course, the maximum focal length. This one can only go up to 180mm, while the other similar telephoto lens can go up to 200mm. I do not have a Sony G Master to compare the difference, but here is a quick photo just to show you this lens at 180mm focal length compared to another photo that I shot with a Panasonic S1 at 200mm focal length. So yeah, this just to give you some idea about the difference in the maximum focal length. When it comes to image sharpness, this Tamron lens seems to be pretty good. At the maximum focal length at f2.8, the center sharpness is very good. And if you look at the corner, it's definitely a little bit softer than the center, but I think it is still very usable, especially this is at f2.8 aperture setting. There is some noticeable vignetting at maximum aperture f2.8, but if you stop down to f4, then vignetting is much improved both at the wide end 70mm and the telephoto end 180mm. In terms of distortion, if you turn off the distortion control on your camera, and at the wide end 70mm there is not too much distortion noticeable. Go to 100mm, that is still pretty good. From 135mm to 180, there seems to be some noticeable distortion, and that is only if you don't turn on the distortion compensation on the camera. If you turn on the distortion compensation, then you don't really see much distortion at all. So this is my very quick first look video of this Tamron 70-180 f2.8 lens. Once again, thanks to my friends at gearup.co.nz for supplying this lens for me to do this review. And if you have any questions about this lens or anything you want me to test, please feel free to let me know so that I can try to incorporate that in my full review. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you won't miss my full review, which will be coming very soon. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next video.